So we need a bigger space so that they can come here.
For the same dollar for dollar, right, I can get so much more here, like bigger bang for my buck.
We feel more relaxed here, and we have more time with our family together.
More Singaporeans are choosing to buy their retirement homes across the causeway. And developers are trying to cash in on this trend by offering more housing options with state-of-the-art facilities.
Maybe motion sensors, so that if you keep still for too long, somebody will come and see whether you're okay.
Want to retire in comfort? You might just have to do that in Johor, Malaysia. It's 5:45 a.m. To beat the jam, Dad, Edwin, and his two boys have to leave home by 6 to get to school on time. It's a price they've chosen to pay when the family moved from Singapore to Johor 10 months ago.
I feel very sleepy because every morning I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then later when you reach the car, I keep worrying a lot because I'm wondering if we can reach my school or not, since my school is in Potong Pasir, which is St. Andrew's Secondary School.
Singapore's education system and strong currency are reasons why 43-year-old Edwin, a property agent, still commutes back daily. They're also what prompted his family to take up Singapore citizenship 5 years ago. But spiraling prices and the pace of life made him and his civil engineer wife, Daisy, think twice about retiring in Singapore.
Cost of living is much lower here. We buy fruits is really low compared with Singapore. We feel more relaxed here, and we have more time with our family together.
The Galena's home in Johor is now a 220,000 Singapore dollar 3-bedroom inter-terrace unit. A house like that would cost at least 5 times as much in Singapore, more if it's freehold. The Galena family is among the growing number of Singaporeans who choose to live in Malaysia and work or study in Singapore. Johor is also where they'd like to retire. There are no official figures on this group, but a local association estimates that at least 5,000 Singaporean households live in Johor, mainly concentrated in the Iskandar Malaysia region. The region, about 3 times the size of Singapore, was earmarked in late 2006 to spur the growth of the Malaysian economy.
Gone are the days where you think that if you're 55, you want to retire and look for something more serene, you come to JB. Today you have a younger age bracket group of people in their 30s, 40s with school-going children, and they also commute to Singapore and JB on a daily basis because they work in Singapore, And this younger Singaporeans staying here, creates more vibrancy mood to the lifestyle that we see in Johor.
Such pre-retirees are particularly attracted to areas like Nusajaya and the fringes of Johor Bahru, like Kempas and Permasjaya. These areas have evolved to cater to the needs of Singaporeans, with familiar brands and quality services.
This is a key part of the Iskandar Malaysia Master Plan, and 2 highlights that could be particularly attractive for Singaporean retirees are the Integrated Wellness Township, built as a sanctuary to prolong your active years, as well as the Glen Eagles Medini, a 300-bed hospital cum nursing home and rehabilitation centre.
One of the goals of the Iskandar Malaysia Master Plan is to raise the region's population from the current 1.3 to 3 million. To attract foreigners, the Malaysia My Second Home program offers various incentives. One of them is that there's no limit on the number of residential properties foreigners can buy, so long as they meet the minimum purchase price. In the past 3 years, the Johor Real Estate and Housing Developers Association has seen a rise in the number of foreign home buyers in Johor. Most of them are Singaporeans.
If I'm in Singapore, I need to pay off my mortgage when I'm maybe 55 or 60, and I don't know if I can do that. Maybe it's my children who will do that, but I want to. I mean, we want to be independent, you know, when we are old. So, but here I can say that before maybe we are 50, we can pay off our mortgage.
Hey, Jean.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, there's no gate here.
Yeah, there's no gate.
And it's safe. Is it safe?
Yeah, I think it is.
48-year-old Jeanne Conceicao is a professional who's never thought of Johor as a place to retire. Australia is where she'd be, if not for a report about an SMRT train driver who bought a house there for 80,000 Singapore dollars.
He was renting out his 4-room flat in Singapore, using the money to pay off his mortgage in Malaysia. So I thought that was a fantastic idea. So I decided to come and see the place, and I said, wow, I thought at that point in time he had hit the jackpot.
7 years ago, Jeanne bought this 4-bedroom house in Leisure Farm for 350,000 Singapore dollars. She sold her 3-room flat 2 years ago for 400,000. But profit wasn't her biggest gain.
Thank you for inviting me home for dinner.
Wah, ada buat tangan, ada buat tangan. Wah, berat ni, berat heavy.
I don't cook. I seldom cook. I don't need to cook, right? I go to my neighbor's house and eat, and we contribute meat or we contribute fish, vegetables, whatever, right? Somebody cooks. So, you know, if you ask around, right, people will help you out.
So it's like that kampong spirit that we lack.
Yeah, exactly. I think in Singapore, for a period of time, right, we kind of lost that. Maybe living in flats, I'm not sure, but we lost that. So I think getting it back here, right, it's not so much the price of the housing, but I think discovering that we could actually develop a social network to help you with stuff if you're in need, right? I thought that we felt we hit the jackpot. I'm right now 40-something. I plan to retire not only in Johor but in this particular house, and for the next 40 years or so.
Pre-retirees aren't the only ones to slowly call it a day in Johor. The city has also attracted long-time advocate of retirement villages, Daniel Teo, to consider building a resort here for Singaporeans.
After many tries in Singapore, not successful.
A building frenzy is underway in Johor, Malaysia, a once sleepy town that's fast becoming a popular retirement plan B for Singaporeans. More are snapping up properties across the causeway, not just to invest, but to see them through their sunset years. And this has prompted developers to start looking for ways to ride the silver tsunami.
Some even have that mind 10 years old, but only thing we yet to see any really make it and build it up yet. But of late, I think there are people to start again, talk about this, and this time around, I think they are very serious because they see the potential in it.
Leisure Farm, about 1.5 times the size of Tampines, is a sprawling resort of bungalows, villas and semi-Ds, set amidst lush greenery and panoramic landscapes. Almost half the homes here are owned by Singaporeans, and the resort will soon add new housing options to their list, housing that caters specifically to the elderly.
We are going to build, with this 5.8 acres, we are going to build what you call a health farm.
How is it different from what you have? You know, your bungalows and your semi-Ds.
Here what we have is we do have actually individual units, especially also with medical facilities to take care of the what you call semi-retirees. It's more of that it will be more convenient where there will be also the arrangement to pick them up to to all their daily activities, and we have a sort of a management to look after all these residents who stay here.
So how many people can it cater to living here?
About 1 to 200 units.
1 to 200, okay. And is it just the retirees staying, or what about the children and
Oh, the children will, we have, besides this, what you call retirement home, we have apartments that are built surrounding the retirement home. The children can buy a unit of the apartments that can stay close to their parents.
This is likely to be the part of the underground park.
Also in the midst of planning a retirement village in Johor is Daniel Teo, a long-time advocate of retirement villages in Singapore.
We will hope to do more senior care housing, especially independent and assisted living with some essential services.
Several attempts to launch such a project in Singapore have failed. One site he'd been eyeing in Singapore had only a 30-year lease. It was later extended to 60, but it still can't compare with this plot he found in Johor Bahru. About the size of a football field, it costs half as much, and the lease? Freehold. Daniel and his partners aim to fit about 120 apartment units here, from 1 to 3 bedrooms, all designed for universal access. It will have a common dining room, as well as an all-day bistro, a gym, and in- and outdoor swimming pools.
What about the architecture in terms of, because we know we look at nursing homes in Singapore, and I don't want to be staying there, so would I want to come here?
Well, actually, that's a very good question, because this project, we are going to design it like a resort. So it is a retirement resort. So when you come here, you know, the environment will be that of a 4 to 5 star hotel. So we have a lot of storage provided for them as well. Not within the apartment, but in the basement of the building.
Okay.
Right. So you have everything at your fingertips, together with all the assistance that you require, you know, emergency call buttons in case you require help. And depending on our discussion with the operator, there may be motion sensors, so that if you keep still for too long, somebody will come and see whether you're okay.
Reciprocal right.
Approvals are still being sought, but both men hope building works can start middle of this year and end in about 20 months' time. Daniel says about 20 Singaporeans have already expressed interest in it.
We have one block of property consists of 3 parcels. So the lower parcel, the ground floor, is actually 1 unit. Then the upper parcel, we have 2 duplex. So meaning one block, we have 3 parcels. That is, this is a design is suitable for 3 generations.
Retirement resorts are but one housing option. Other developers like Tanah Sutra, a joint venture with Singapore's Keppel Land and Capital Land, are going for the intergenerational living concept, with the idea of a duplex townhouse. They are part of a massive project called The Seed. At the heart of it, a centre to educate homeowners on how to eat healthily and a specially fitted gym for seniors.
What we are trying to do is try to promote a healthy environment, a healthy living environment. And if you have a healthy environment to live in and a healthy habit, then you're going to get sick. That is our aim. So we try not to wait until people are sick and then provide the services.
To cater to demanding Singaporeans, including senior citizens, developers are pulling out all the stops. But can they convince them that it's safe staying in Johor?
I have a brother. He bought a house in JB. Frequently, somebody break into the house.
What Shenzhen is to Hong Kong, Johor is to Singapore, a cheaper, more laid-back option. And Johor is where 64-year-old Roger Tan and his wife plan to retire. This is where the elderly couple now live, a two-bedroom condominium unit, about the size of a four-room HDB flat. For them, it's just not big enough.
This is the second room, which you see, it's so cramped. We turned this room to a study room because only just two of us. The gathering is normally outside, so they don't need to see our room. So that's why they can't stay overnight. So that's why you need a bigger unit to to make them welcome and stay overnight or what.
The couple had thought about buying a bigger condo unit in Johor. But with rising prices, they were advised to consider a 3,500 square feet villa instead. 5 times as big as their current unit. It costs just over 400,000 Singapore dollars. But they had doubts about living in a landed property.
I have a brother, I think that was 4 or 5 years ago. He bought a house in JB, and frequently somebody break into the house.
Is now being found. He says Johor police called him this morning to say that
为了逃命爬过铁门。令人震惊的是，手持8冷刀的劫匪也毫不犹豫地爬过铁门来干案。
To allay fears about safety, developers have gone big on gated and guarded residences. That is, homes with perimeter fencing and security guards at the main entrance. But how safe are these measures? Get Real puts them to the test. At Senibong Cove and Horizon Hills, both popular with Singaporeans.
Bang, saya nak jumpa kawan, tapi saya terlupa dia punya alamat. Jalan dia saya tahu, tak boleh masuk kan? Bang, saya lepas kan? Pergi sikit tanya yang kat dalam lah. Oh, dalam lagi. Oh, okey. Okey. Terima kasih ya.
The team was able to get past the first guard post, but not the second. But at 2 other residences,
Bagian satu. Bagian satu. Jadi waktu malam kita datang. Listen.
we were let through after producing a driver's license. And this guard simply waved us through. To keep out bad hats, residents in some older estates have taken to erecting their own barriers and makeshift guard posts.
So just because it's gated and guarded, it doesn't mean that, you know, it could be safe as well, right?
Yeah. Of course, you talk about the level of security. It will be the best if these schemes that develop under Strata Act, where the security system are actually regulated under the Act. The land within the boundary is properly secured, and they can have the right to deny any access from any general public because it is a private property. Okay. Whereas for those schemes that develop under National Land Code, they do not have such provisions. So when the roads completed, it's handed over to the government and it become a public roads. Okay. So under such circumstances, any public, they can actually gain access and you cannot stop them.
Today, Roger and Amy are revisiting the villa their agent had recommended. The 3,500 square feet villa costs just over 400,000 Singapore dollars. Uppermost in their minds, safety.
One thing good about this house is that they have a good security system. Besides the main entrance coming in where they have security, every house they have their own security. They have cameras and they have alarm system. So whoever enters to this car park, we can see them coming in. So we know whether they are strangers or friends. Now, like I say, comparing to our home in Singapore, the living area in this house is so big, and we find that it's so far away from the TV set. And when we invite our relatives, our sons to come and visit us, they have places to sit, and the grandchildren can run around the house, and this is something that we liked.
Shortly after the visit, the Tans signed on the dotted line. They are officially retiring in Johor.
If all the seniors go out of Singapore, I think it's a very sad state, unfortunately. And really it needs government to step in to create a situation where, I know the government is actually doing their own senior housing program, but you need the variety, you need the spread.
Have a choice, yeah.
And there should be choice.
Johor is already drawing many Singaporeans to live there.
Hello, good evening.
In time, it may even boast of something Singapore doesn't have: a wealth of retirement housing options. When that happens, what's to stop pre-retirees from opting for the JB retirement plan? In China,